about 220 industrial facilities in a span of around 8.5 years. And in those times, we were all talking, saying, you have to save energy because energy is getting depleted. We have natural gas for about 40 years. We have coal with the present rate of consumption. It'll last for about 200 years. So sources like that. Nowadays, nobody talks about that. Nobody says we are going to get our resources exhausted. The basic difference that they talk about is a word called resource. And resource means it does not, if we are exhausting our resources, doesn't mean that we are completely depleting everything from Earth. It only means that the one which is economically viable to take it out of the Earth, that part of coal or natural gas, we are going to exhaust. But it's still, Earth is so big that we have not explored enough. The longest or the deepest drill that we have had in Earth is about 12 kilometers. And that too as a research study. Usually it's about 6 to 8 kilometers only. Most of the drills that we do. And just to give you a perspective of how big the Earth is, the 12 kilometers versus the size of Earth is like if you take an apple, we have not even penetrated the shell of the apple. Earth is so big that we have not explored all of it. So we don't talk about how our energy is going to get depleted, but still we want to transition into something. We want to move away from fossil fuels towards renewable fuels. Could anybody tell me what is the problem that we have to simply transition to renewable energy? We know wind and solar are like popular, right? Everybody is now talking about it. Why don't we just simply put solar panels and wind and it's done? Why so much fuss about it?
I think its process are very costly to conversion in energy.
Okay. Ron, do you want to say something? Your hand is raised.
Yeah, I think the efficiency is also very poor from transitioning from whatever solar and wind to actual consumable energy efficiency is very poor. The ratio is very, very poor. The technology is also not up to the mark yet.
True. Both of the answers are right. The amount of energy that we get out of solar panels, we convert only about 9% of the energy that hits the solar panel into electricity. Rest of it still remains as heat. That's fine because we have good amount of energy coming from the sun. We are not worried about that part. 9% is still good enough. But the problem is that if you install a 100 megawatt solar plant, we are only going to get about 17% of it as energy. So the investor who's going to put money there is going to think, should I put my money in solar plant or should I put my money in a coal-fired power plant? Right now, 3 days ago, there was a bid opened. The bid by Government of India, and it said, we want 750 megawatt of solar power, of renewable energy, round-the-clock solar energy. And can you guess what the price was of the winning bid? Price of solar energy? It's 4.25 rupees. It is cheaper than what we consume in our homes right now. It is cheaper than most coal-fired power plants that are generating coal today in India. And this is a great number because it's going to transform quickly and keep India one of the leaders in renewable energy. At this point, we'll take a small break and we'll come back to this a little later. But for now, I would like to transition this to the current meeting and the proceedings. So today, our meeting is a special one. We have an education session to prepare ourselves for one of the important events of Toastmasters is coming. That's the contest. And we are going to have a club level contest soon. And to help us prepare better, we have Ron Bilimoria with us. Thank you, Ron, for joining us and helping us out. Does this? Before we call upon Ron, we'll have our prepared speakers session, our prepared speech session. And after the education session, we are going to have the evaluation. So for the session today, we have a role player, timer. May I request Toastmaster Ganesh to please come up and introduce the role of the timer for us. And let us welcome Ganesh with a round of applause.
Yeah, hello everyone. Good afternoon. Hello Toastmasters and guests. As a timer, I will time the table topic speakers, formal speeches, and the evaluations. I will also alert each speaker how much the time they have left using my changing the background. Okay, for the table topic, the speakers, I will should limit their remarks no more than 2 minutes. At a 1 minute, I will change my background to green. Okay, and at 1 minute 30 seconds, I will change my background to yellow. At 2 minutes, I will change my background to red. Okay. For we don't have icebreaker speeches today. So for other speeches, they should limit to 5 to 7 minutes in length. Okay. At 5 minutes, I will change my background to green. At 6 minutes, I will change my background to yellow. And at 7 minutes, I will change my background to red. Okay. And for the individual evaluation should limit between 2 to 3 minutes. At 2 minutes, I will change my background to green. At 2 minutes 30 seconds, I will change my background to yellow. And at 3 minutes, I will change my background to red. Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Ganesh. Thank you so much. Now, the prepared speeches round, we have one speaker today, Toastmaster Aditya Shinde, and he has chosen the path visionary communication. And he's going to talk about mentorship. And I'll request the evaluator for Toastmaster Aditya's speech, Toastmaster Tata, to please come up and introduce the objectives for us.
Sure.
Let us hear it for Tata.
Sure. Thank you, Toastmaster Mahesh. My target speaker is attempting the speech, which is level 2, project 3 under visionary communication. And the objective of this project is for the member to clearly define how Toastmasters envision mentoring. And it is also for the member to share some aspect of a previous experience as a protege. So the timings for the timer, the timings is 5 to 7 minutes. And all the best to my target speaker, and over to the Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Tata. Thank you so much. So let me just read out what Aditya had said about his introduction. My name is Aditya Bharat Shinde. I'm a civil engineer by education and civil contractor by profession. I admire public speaking a lot and have joined Toastmasters a year ago to practice it. However, my goal is not to win huge awards, but to be disciple of extraordinary mentors and practice my speaking under them. One of the reasons why I wanted to read this out was that the nature is clearly evident from what he writes. The choice of words lets me interpret that he is very humble, down to earth, and very diligent to his goal. And he has a clear path on how he wants to do, and he has a vision of how he wants to do it. And with those words, I would request Toastmasters Aditya Shinde to please come up. Oh, he's already switched on his camera and looks ready.
Am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible, visible. Can you see the timer cards? Ganesh, could you flash the timer cards a little bit? Yes.
Okay, yes.
Visible,
Yellow.
right?
Red. Yes.
Okay. Toastmaster Aditya. Mentorship. Mentorship, Toastmaster Aditya.
How many of you have been a mentor before? Please raise a hand. Right. Well, I am. for my friends taking relationship advice from me. So what, they break up after my advice. It's not my fault. Mentorship is that one important thing which is almost always taken for granted, but plays a pivotal role in all aspects of growth in life. Mr. Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters, and dear guest. Mentoring or mentor is a knowledgeable and experienced person who provides advice, guidance, and support to his mentee or protege. The major role of a mentor is to provide constructive feedback and give his experience to his mentee to navigate challenges and problems. Did anyone get anything? Neither me on the first go. Let me give you an example. How many of you know Mahabharata? Please raise your hand. In the battle of Mahabharata, Shri Krishna was a charioteer, mentor, and guide to Arjuna. When Arjuna, in the middle of battlefield, left his weapon and refused to fight, it was his mentor, Shri Krishna, who gave his wisdom to make Arjuna's mind. Even though Arjuna was very well equipped to defeat his opposition, the Kauravas, it was his mentor that he had. Because of him, he won the war. In the same way, be it a person who knows a lot and has done a lot, or be it a beginner who is just venturing into new things, a mentor plays an important role, like a lighthouse, guiding boats to their path. Now, what about Toastmasters? What do mentors play a role in Toastmasters? Well, as you know now, I joined Toastmasters a year ago. And when I joined, I was very confident that I was good at public speaking. But when I started drafting and delivering speeches, I got to know, no, this is not the case. I was assigned a mentor. I connected with him and we gelled very nicely. As a famous author, J. Lauren Norris says, if you don't know where you're going, connect with the person who has been there. In the same way, if your mentors have the similar background as you, it is very much at advantage. So my mentor and I have a very similar background. And because of that, now I am able to seek advice from him of problems not only in Toastmasters, but also out of Toastmasters. However, there was one situation where even my mentor's suggestion was not enough. It was my third project, vocal variety and body language. No matter how much I tried, I was speaking in single tone and with less body variation, body language variations. My mentor very smartly advised me, try inculcating two people talking to each other. And I wondered, how can it do that? How can an entire speech be about two people talking to each other? In that case, I connected to one of the senior Toastmasters in my club. And he referred me to Poola Deshpande's Kathakathan. And of course, Joe Andrew podcast. And that made the difference. Mentoring is not only about one person. In Toastmasters, if you're open and connecting to other people in Toastmasters fraternity, you are very likely to be connecting to a mentor. Be it a beginner who knows a lot, or be it a person who is just expanding his horizons, mentorship plays a very important role. In the battlefield of life, where mentor embrace the challenges and experience the guidance of mentors. If you find yourself in pickle, get yourself a hold on your mentor. As I quote, to provide the perspective of impact a mentorship can provide, I want to quote Sir Isaac Newton. According to Sir Isaac Newton, if I am able to see further beyond others, it is because standing on the shoulders of giants. In the same way, whether you are a beginner, a novice, or whether you are an adept refining your skills, do not hesitate to reach out to your mentor and make him your friend. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Aditya. Thank you so much. As a tradition, we have a minute of silence so that we can give feedback to our speaker today. So I would request all of you, if you have Aditya's number, you can send feedback to him directly. Otherwise, we can use the chat box in this Zoom meeting to send your feedback to Aditya. When you're sending the feedback, please remember to include what are the things you liked about the speech, followed by what could have been improved. Please add both these parts so it can be useful for the speaker, not only for motivation, but also to pave the path forward. Timer, could you please indicate 1 minute from now? Thank you, Ganesh, for indicating the 1 minute. Now, let's get back to the theme of energy transition. So before we left this topic off, we had discussed about renewable energy with round-the-clock power. So we all know that solar and wind have one peculiar issue with it. Well, solar power is available only in the morning times. What do we do in the night? And in wind energy, 85% of this wind energy you will recover only in the monsoon time, where you see a lot of wind blowing here and there. The rest of the year, say 9 months, we get only 15% of the energy. So what do we do during those times? How do we take care of these variations in the power that is being generated? We all know it is renewable, but it is also dependent on time. One of the things we are trying to do is add batteries. Sometimes we call it batteries as insurance. Sometimes we call it batteries for storage. One of the popular things we had earlier tried a lot, and still it is being tried in some scales, is to use pumped hydro as batteries. Can you imagine water being pumped from a low height to somewhere reverse of a cliff and then pump it back there, maybe build a dam or something? That is when the power is available with us. Then during the night, open the gates, let the water pour down through a turbine and generate power for us. So in effect, we use water as a storage for our electricity. There are some plants like this where it is geographically convenient to have a setup like this, but it is nowadays rare. The more popular thing that we may want to store energy in are batteries. looks like when we have solar and wind on one side, batteries on another side, marry them together, voila, we have the solution. Then what is the fuss about energy transition? Why are we breaking our heads on it? It's simple math, right? Can anybody help me understand what is the problem with this approach?
Batteries do not have enough storage capacity, and this
We don't have
volume
enough
is
storage
also very
capacity.
large.
The storage requirement is very large, yes. What's the problem? We'll make more batteries. More industries will grow.
Price
More employment.
matter.
So, price matters. Okay. That used to be the case, but when we know that you don't have any other solution, and with scale, every price comes down. So
It requires
So
multiple
that'll be go ahead,
It-
sir.
it requires multiple infrastructure. It's not just about making the batteries.
it's
It
not
is
about making
upholding. It requires multiple infrastructure changes, right? It's not just about making the batteries. Then you have to have infrastructure to charge the batteries. So it's like a huge, it's a complete new technology and a complete new infrastructure you have to build from the scratch.
Okay, I think Johan is talking about cars or trucks getting converted from petrol, diesel to
EVs,
so a lot of
yeah,
infrastructure changes there. Yes.
yeah.
But this challenge is not there when we want to convert our coal-fired thermal power plant into a renewable energy plant, like with solar and batteries. Just put it at one location, it's done. Use the existing electrical infrastructure, everything existing, all done. Problem we have is batteries, they have to be made. And to make the batteries, we need some particular chemicals. Lithium ion is one of the favorite for battery manufacturers because it has a good energy density. That means 1 kg of lithium ion will store a certain amount of things. So its energy density is kind of the highest. There are other kinds of batteries which are a little more bulky than lithium ion. But lithium reserves are limited. And when we talk about lithium being extracted out of the earth, at the pace that we need the batteries, at the pace the demand is increasing, the lithium extraction is not going to help us achieve that. So research is now on for n number of types of batteries. People are talking of aluminum batteries. People are talking about polymer batteries. People are talking of all kinds of research is being done on batteries. So everybody's in a race on when I can make a battery that can be deployed in the market successfully, sustainably, so that people will take it and run with it. On the other hand, even solar manufacturers, solar module manufacturers are also on the run. Wind energy manufacturers are also run. People are now competing on, I can make a bigger wind turbine. Xi'an Wind Energy from China, they have made a wind module which is 430 feet in radius. A propeller, one of the blades of the wind turbine, it is 430 feet, 130 meters in length. Huge ones. Each of them is about 15 megawatt of power generation capacity. So a lot of transformation is happening. People are investing a lot of money into it. And we are trying to inch closer and closer to that dream of converting all of power generation into renewable. And I hope this energy transition is faster. But there are problems. There are things like industries. They don't not only need electricity, they also need fuel. To talk about what we are going to do about fuel, we'll pause this topic here and we'll go on with the agenda of our meeting today. The next up, we have kind of the most awaited session for us to help us prepare on our upcoming contests. We are going to have international speech contest and table topic contest soon. And to help us prepare, we have Toastmaster Ron Billimoria with us. Let us give a round of applause to Ron before I introduce him. His LinkedIn profile says he's CEO at Miracle Workx, or it's like Miracle Works, web designing. But what I know of Ron, he's a very humble and an extraordinary Toastmaster. Me, Jane, you, Tarzan was one of the humorous speeches I can recollect it even if I'm sleeping. He's also a very known person in Toastmasters, not only because of his nice and calm demeanor, but also because of his helping nature of saying yes to most of the people who ask him for help. And so this is one of the reasons why he has got the Toastmasters of the Year award by District 98. I think it was in the year 2019. Correct me if I'm wrong, Ram.
I don't remember very honest.
He must have got so many awards now he doesn't recollect what when he got what. But thank you for being here, and I would now request everyone to once again welcome you with a thunderous round of applause of having Ron with us and helping us prepare for the upcoming contest. Over to you, Ron.
Thank you so much. Can everybody turn on their videos, please? I would like to see the faces so we can interact. Also, I have 30 minutes and I've got a lot of things to cover, so I'll be a little fast, but you can always pause me and ask me questions. Today we'll be covering three things. Why should you contest? Number one, which is very important for the younger and the newer Toastmasters. So I'll try my best to convince you why you should contest. Number two is we'll cover the basics of the international speech, how to compose an international speech. And third is we'll take a look at how to be competitive in table topics. Now 30 minutes is very less to cover all this, but I'll try to do my best to do it. So first, let me just quickly ask everybody here that is there, why should you, according to you, why should you compete in contests in Toastmasters? Now, Toastmasters is a very friendly, loving community which everybody supports each other, helps each other to grow. But once a year, we get very competitive and we start these contests, and we are like ruthless with each other in the contest, and we are always all trying to win. Why is that? Who would like to share why do we contest? What do we get out of contest? Quickly just unmute and share your thoughts.
Ron, this is the thrill of competition. Yeah, please.
Thrill of competition. Very nice. What else?
Yeah, so
Ron, according to me,
supposed to
competition,
perform our best.
Perform your best. Okay, very nice.
according to me, competitions help us to improve the quality of the outcome that we
Quality
get.
of your speeches improves because of the contest. Yes. Go ahead. Ajay, go ahead. Ajay's got his hands up for a long time. Who else?
Pure adrenaline rush.
Pure adrenaline rush. Being on stage in front of so many people and the pressure of the contest. Yes. What else?
Ron, I agree with all of them. And I just want to add that one contest equals more than 10, 15 speeches and more than 10, 15 projects, because we dissect and we focus on every minute thing which is there in our draft and in our performance.
I completely agree. I don't know about the 10 or 15 speeches, but definitely the contest is a much more accelerated process of what we normally do in our clubs. So preparing for the contest speeches is much more efficient, much more thrilling to us than what we do our normal projects. Also, writing the contest speeches also is a very different thing, which we'll discuss later also. So all these things kind of accelerate our growth, accelerate our learning, sharpen us as speakers. And for somebody who is new in Toastmasters, this is a very nice forum to kind of try out their skill set against others, compare the skill set against others. When we give a speech, we are given feedback by our evaluator, which is very supportive in this. But in the contest, the judges are ruthless. They will look at the speech only and they will score you according to that speech. So you get a very authentic and clear picture, no sugarcoating on how you performed in the contest. For all these reasons, any Toastmaster, whether he has been in Toastmaster as long as I have, or you are a new Toastmaster, you should participate. Now let me flip the question back to you. Why do we normally not participate? Yes?
Fear of being judged.
Fear of being judged. Very, very deep fear in human beings of being judged. What will log kya kahenge? What else?
Fear of losing.
Fear of loss. Absolutely. It's not this thing. It's absolutely all of us have that fear of losing. Yes. What else?
Lack of preparation to.
You feel you're not going to be prepared enough to give the speech.
Yeah, right.
Because of Preetham, what? Because of what?
Because of because of grammar, because of practice, because of handle fear,
Maybe
stage
so
fear,
lack of confidence in a lot of areas that
lack of
because of
confidence. Yes.
yes. Okay, very nice. So all of these are basically just fears. And I have a very simple mantra in life. If you want to get ahead, feel the fear, but do it anyway. Feel the fear, but do it anyway. So for you, contest, whatever the reason that you feel that you will hold it back, whatever, I would suggest that everybody should contest. It's a thrill. It's an amazing experience. It also teaches you to win gracefully, lose gracefully, whatever the result. The result is not important. It's the competing, it's the improving that is important. One more myth I come across, especially who are the new Toastmasters here? Quickly show of hands. Who are the newly joined Toastmasters? Yeah. So one of the myths which I come across quite often in, especially in these contests, is I'm a new Toastmaster. I cannot compete against these guys who've been there for 5 years, 6 years, 10 years, whatever. And that is absolutely rubbish. I can't tell you the number of times where a Toastmaster who has joined in the same year has gone and swept the competition. I can give you a lot of examples of that. So when you go into a contest, whether you're a veteran or you're a new Toastmaster, it's basically your preparation, the quality of your speech, the quality of your performance that matters, not the number of years you spent in Toastmasters. Yes, older Toastmasters might have more experience, but that doesn't mean that you guys should not have a chance. So whether you are old or new in Toastmasters, just let that out of your mind and just compete, right? So all of you agreed. Let's give it a shot. Let's compete, right? I hope I've convinced at least one or two of you to get off the fence. So Joanne seems to have been convinced. That's
I have a question.
yes. Go
I
ahead.
have a question to you.
Yes.
In club contest, when I know that my club contestants are better than me and they have a chance of winning more than me, like 99%, still why I should compete? Can you please give an answer for that?
Because of
For
all
the
the reasons
viewers?
which we discussed earlier, it sharpens you, it makes you a better speaker, it gives you a fresh experience, it gives you a new experience. And also at the same time, you the person who you think would win, many times we may not end up winning, you might end up winning. So never give up on yourself, never give up on it. Do your best and then let the judges handle it. And even if that person ends up winning anyway, and you come second or third, or you don't play, it doesn't matter. You've got that experience in your bag and you've become a better speaker from the experience. But the caveat I will add to that is just because that person is experienced doesn't mean you don't try hard. You try your best. Even if you know you're going to come second and the person is unbeatable, in quotes, nobody's unbeatable, but unbeatable in quotes, you try your damn to do it. It's a contest at the end of the day. When I go into a contest, even though I know I have terrific speakers ahead of me, I will fight to win. And that should be our attitude. So go with a very positive attitude, no matter who your contestants, other contestants are, and do your damn best. Right?
Yeah, on one query.
Yeah.
So I have also seen that contestants get very tensed on the day of the contest. There is a lot of nervous faces I see. Maybe if you talk about in the session about, how to, calm you that goosebumps, especially for the new people who are contesting for the first time. It inevitably comes. I mean, in my own personal experience, I've seen.
I would say two things. Number one, if you're feeling goosebumps and fear and all these kind of things, good. It's part of the process. Everybody who is competed has gone through this and has made us better people. Also, whatever nerves you have, take it on the stage and use those nerves. Anytime you feel you're overconfident, you don't get the nerves, your speech is going to be flat. So I would tell the people that okay, there are certain breathing exercises that you can do. You know, there's certain meditative things. There's deep breathing before you go. You will give more oxygen to the brain. There are a lot of small techniques you can do to relax yourself before the contest. But feeling nerves should not be something, well, it should not happen. Why is it? It's wrong. No. Everybody, even the champions, feel the nerves. And you use those nerves on the stage. So there will be, I can maybe share a couple of techniques to before going on stage to help. But nerves are perfectly natural. It should not be a problem. It should not be considered a problem. And sometimes you go on stage with the nerves, and once you get settle into a rhythm, the nerves go away, and you and the audience connect. One major antidote to nerves. Can anybody guess? Come on, guys. Quick guesses.
Deep breathing.
Embracing fear.
Better
Deep breathing.
preparation.
Yes, who said the better preparation?
Better preparation. Yeah.
Prashant, yeah. Perfect. Better preparation. The more prepared you are, you will still feel nerves, but there will be an undercurrent of confidence also. If you go unprepared and then you are nervous, then I can't help you, you know. So preparation also helps in when you're nervous, but nerves are normal. Feel the fear, do it anyway. That should be your mantra. Shall I move on to the next section before any other questions?
Ron, I just want to say
Sure.
something. Yeah,
Bolo.
Chintan this side.
Yeah,
So
bolo.
as Joan asked, in my first year of Toastmasters, I had a same question. And I had been fortunate enough to get a great mentor. And he told me one thing which I always keep in mind and that calms my nerves. And he told me that whenever you speak, don't have the eyes on the prize. Rather, if you convince one person or inspire one soul who's in the audience, that should be enough. So winning, losing, and it's a byproduct, and that always works for me. That I'm thinking about the audience connection, whether they are connected with me or not, whether I win it or not, because many things are not in our hands when we come to contest. So that helped me and wanted to share. Thanks.
Yeah, that's very wise of your mentor to advise you that. Basically, he's telling you focus on the process, not on the result. If you focus on the process, focus on doing your best, then the result will take care of itself. Karm karo, phal ki chinta mat karo. So I think that's very wise, and that all of us can learn from that. But in any way, if you do feel nerves, it's okay. Shall we move on to ISC now? Yeah, because we'll run out of time otherwise. Okay, so let me ask you. Every speech that we give in the club has objectives, right? From your projects, from your paths. What is the objective of an ISC speech?
It needs to be inspiring.
Very nice. Thank you. You hit the nail on the head. It has to be the objective of an ISC speech is nothing but inspiration. You need to inspire the audience. Now that brings me to the second question. How do you inspire your audience? What can you do that will inspire an audience?
The message with call to action.
A message with call to action. Okay, what else?
A personal story.
Personal story. What does a personal story do?
Gives you a connect with the audience.
Connect with the audience. So your personal story connect with the audience. What else?
Adding a drama to your speech.
Sorry,
adding a little bit of drama to your speech.
Drama to your speech.
Yes.
Definitely. Why not? All ingredients are valid. Joanne, you were saying?
Authentic. It makes your speech
Authentic. Yes. The story which you share of yourself is authentic. People connect. People identify with you. And there is one more ingredient which is important for an ISC speech. What is that?
A bit of humor.
Humor. Very nice. A sprinkling of humor. Now, an ISC speech is not a humorous speech, but if a humor is a bit tricky, not everybody can pull it off. But if you can add humor, it kind of takes you little bit above the other contestants. So always there's a good idea to sprinkle a little bit of humor in it and have a speech which has a personal stories, a personal connect, which evokes emotion in the audience. You want to evoke an emotion in the audience. You want to inspire the audience through an emotional message, which has a clear call to action at the end also. But it's not necessary that all speeches will have a clear call to action, right? So an ISC speech is very different from your normal club speeches, which have very narrow objectives. Here, your objective is much more broad to inspire. And the best way to understand this, what is the best way to understand this, what I'm talking about? Any guesses? What is the best method to understand this?
Listen to ISC speeches.
Listen to ISC championship speeches. All the championship winners. Fantastic. You just sit and go through the past champion speeches. There is no explanation necessary. I can talk for 2 hours, but just you listen to one speech for 7 minutes and you'll get everything that I'm talking about. So that should be part of your curriculum, that you should be going and look at and being inspiring from their speeches because they are successful at inspiring others. So you know what this is. But one caveat I will say is don't copy. Be your own person, do your own thing. Just because that guy used the stage in a certain way doesn't mean you need to use the stage in a certain way. Just because that guy used a certain phrase, you don't need to copy. Don't be a copycat. Be original, learn rather than copy. Yeah. Don't be like a Hindi film industry. Don't get inspired, Be original. Now, when you're drafting an international speech, what is the process that we would follow? What is the basic structure of a speech, first of all?
As an opening,
Yes, and
the body, which
And?
supports that, and there is a conclusion with a message. Basic.
very basic thing. You need to be working on an opening, a body, and a conclusion. What do you need an opening? How do you create a powerful opening? Quickly, guys. I don't have much time. Quickly, input.
To highlight a suspense in the opening.
So
Suspense
how do you
kind
create
of
that
thing.
suspense? How do you create that? How do you
Give a
create that
controversial data. Bring in a controversial data or a
controversial data?
statement.
Very nice. What else?
To ask question.
Very nice. Ask a important question, a difficult question, an interesting question. Yes, very good. That is way to grab our audience. What else can you do?
Start with a motivated quote.
A very good quote. Quotes are becoming a little old-fashioned now, but if you have a very good quote which goes well with your this, quotes can also be used. Powerful quotes always work. Yes. What else?
Start with a story.
A nice story, anecdote. You can start which grabs the attention, but the story has to be very engrossing. You cannot start with a very run-of-the-mill story because the opening is where you have to grab the audience by the throats, figuratively, right? So that's very important. So you have to work on your opening. Now let's get to the body of the speech. How are you going to structure what should come into the body of the speech? Yes.
Body is where you justify your opening or whatever that you have
So
started.
the opening flows into your body where you are actually making your main thesis of your speech, where you're telling the audience your story, sharing your stories and trying to create that emotional connect. So it's very important to structure that. So usually I use a structure which is opening, 1, 2, 3, closing, which is one of my common ways to do it. But there is no one way to do it. Just make sure that your stories and your transitions are very clean and the flow is very simple and easy to understand, right? So from the opening, you should flow into your body. The body should have a nice transition between its different parts, right? Keep it clean, the transitions clean, have good transition phases that go from one part of the story, one part of this into another. Avoid lot of heavy data. If you're giving stories, make sure the stories are simple to understand. Like I had given one of our speakers a feedback some week ago, then when you're using stories, remove all unnecessary details. He went there, then went there, then went there, and then he did that. No, you don't need to say that. He just went there and did that is enough, you know? Keep your story short, simple, and to the point, right? Make sure the stories have an emotional connect with the audience, that it makes an emotional sense, and the stories are authentic, have a good flow. And then conclusion. How do you conclude? Because you need to conclude on a high. You need to be remembered by the audience and especially by the judges. So how would you conclude? Give me some ideas.
With a call to action.
Sorry, who said that?
Joanne. With a
Call to action. Yes.
Yeah.
A strong call to action based on all that you have already spoken. Yes.
Some message, social message, something.
A very good, strong social message based on what you are trying to take in your speech. Very nice. Yes. What else?
What word you repeat throughout the speech?
Sorry, Tata, can you repeat?
A word or a phrase you repeat throughout your speech.
We'll come to that, but yes, that is also valid. A word or a phrase like Dhananjay Hitarashis, I see something in you. I don't know what it is. That also you can close on that. So that is what we call circling back. So you start with a phrase or an idea, and then you at the end you circle back and close with that phrase and an idea. Now I think Mahesh spoke about you Tarzan, me Jane from my humorous speech. So in that speech, I had started with a joke about Tarzan and Jane. And when I closed that speech, I closed with a joke about Tarzan and Jane. And I basically what I did was I closed the entire circle. The audience felt that we had come on a journey and we had completed that journey from the starting point to the ending point. That is also a very good technique to close. Also, if you are giving a speech which has a lot of information, summarize. In the conclusion, you can summarize, but keep the summarization simple and then have the call to action or the message at the end. But always close with a high energy, right? Always close with a high energy. In fact, your speech should have up and down the energy, but above a certain scale, right? You can't have high energy throughout, because that will be just like you yelling at the audience. It has to have its ups and downs and ups and downs, right? And you have, when you craft your speech, you make sure that you take an audience on a slightly up and down emotional journey. A lot of mistake people make is they just have a flat kind of this thing, emotional message. So have places where you take a break in the speech. But break is by you can ask a question to the audience just to kind of create a break in your flow so that the audience gets a little bit of breathing room and mental space, right? So your transition all should have a nice flow, but it should also have a lot of room in between also. So if you look at the championship speeches, you will know exactly what I'm talking about. So ISC, writing an ISC speech is very transformative. It's very powerful. It's very different from the speeches that we write for our projects. And what is the last but the most important ingredient for ISC speech?
Humor.
No, I'm talking of after you've written the speech, after the speech is ready.
Practice.
Practice.
Practice. Practice, 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 practice. Then practice some more. And after you've practiced some more, you also practice again. I think Mohammad Khatani said he had practiced his winning speech at, I think, almost 800 times. So championship speakers are not made by accident. There is real effort behind all of that. So, and this is one of the things which like you spend so much time writing a beautiful speech and then you neglect the practice. What's the point? Who do you practice with? You practice in front of friends, family and friends. You record yourself on video and you look at the recordings, right? You take feedback from senior Toastmasters in your club. Very important, you just practice, but practice with improvement. That practice should show significant improvement. Somebody should be able to point out, okay, you are not, this part I'm not getting, it's not very nice. So you should be able to practice and improve that part. And it should be, till the time of your contest, there should be a lot of improvement in the initial speech you've written. Simply during the practice phase also is a place for you to do a lot of improvement. So that is in nutshell preparing for ISC. Any questions?
Any suggestions for writing a speech? Because I find the writing part of the speech is very difficult. Because
Writing part is very difficult, but an important part, because then when you're writing an ISC speech, every word is important and the balance is important. So writing is a necessary evil. You have to write. Even if in club speeches you don't write and you kind of do bullet points and give the speech is okay, but in ISC that will not do. You have to get the writing habit and you have to carefully write depending on the flow and the structure that you want to do. And you have to go through multiple drafts till you get it right. One important caveat about writing is after you write it, speak it out, because sometimes you write something and when you say it, it doesn't sound natural. So the writing should sound as if how you speak, right? So when I usually write a speech, I write it properly, then I write it again based on how I speak. It comes out a little differently. It comes out a little more casual because I'm a casual speaker. I like to speak casually. I'm not very officious sounding, right? So it should sound authentic coming from your authentic voice. But writing is, I think, I can't tell you anything but just write at the end of the day. And then take help from people if you're getting stuck anywhere.
another question I've seen that do you speak each and every word that you write, or is it like you know the gist and then you can use them in a more conversational way, or you know the important message that you want to speak?
Ideally, 80 to 90% you should say what you write. But give yourself a little room to innovate a little bit on stage. But yeah, for an ISC, I would say just don't write the speech and then go off the cuff. No, that doesn't make any sense. At the most, if you want to change something, change it in the text and then change it on the stage. But yeah, you should stick to what you have written, because that is how you maintain the consistency and the quality of the speech. If something is not sounding right, change it in the writing in the text and then change it on the this thing. But stay true to your this thing. When I write speeches, I stick 70 to 80% to the word. Sometimes what happens, grammatical changes might happen, but that is all right. As long as you are sticking to the point, you're sticking to the phrases that you're using, especially those key phrases that you want to use, be very careful about that and practice those phrases very much. Like in my latest ISC speech, I had this phrase. What is that? If you say no to life, life says no back to you. And that was a key phrase. And I took that phrase and I put it there, here, there. I kept moving it around that entire this thing till I was comfortable that the phrase made sense within the context of the speech. So writing has its advantages also. What other questions?
I
It's
think
a
table
fantastic
topics is
experience. We'll move to table topics. We are running out of time, right? So of course, we can always offline talk again sometime. Table topics. How does one improve in table topics? Can somebody improve in table topics only in the meetings? Yes, no? Who says yes? Anybody says yes? Who says no?
No, no.
So
We
basically,
can practice it
yes.
at home as well.
Yeah, so table topics is something which I cannot teach you like this. I cannot tell you how to improve. It is something that you have to do in your life to change become a better table topic speaker. It's a very kind of below the surface changes to become. Of course, you have to come to your club and give table topics, practice it. But there is a lot you can do in life to become a better table topic speaker. So can somebody just quickly suggest what are the things we can do in life to become better table topic speakers?
Read.
Read, very important. More you read, the better table topic speaker. I can say direct correlation. And if you're saying I don't like to read books, I don't like to read all these big things, doesn't matter. Read articles, read small articles, read posts on social media. Don't read memes, read proper stuff. Read short articles, short form articles, but read. Because in the reading, your brain gets enriched with a lot of ideas. And the more your brain gets enriched on the table topic stage, the more things will come out. There are things said on table topic speeches where I didn't know I knew that. I was like, how did I know that? I didn't even remember knowing that. But somewhere I read it, it got filed in my brain, and then suddenly it came out in the table topic. So it's very important to broaden. What else can you do?
Probably remembering your experience or writing your experiences, your
Very
past,
nice.
any past.
Yeah,
experience.
so this is a way of being where if you I think everybody here knows Santosh Akela from ISC champion from last few years. Santosh, everything that happens in his life, he looks at that as a speech topic. He's literally like if his Uber driver loses his way, it's a speech. If his train is late, it's a speech. So your life is very rich in anecdotes and stories, but you have to recognize that and file them in your brain as stories. And then those stories can give you very rich material for table topics. To start looking at your life episodes like stories and file it away. And also you can narrate them to others. So something funny happened to you, don't forget about it. Come home to your family, narrate it like you are giving them a table topic. That way it gets entrenched in your brain. Also, it becomes a part of your narrative. And then that can come out in a table topic session. So it's very important for you to have that, to take advantage of the richness of your own life to create these anecdotes and stories. What else?
What can we do if we get such a topic where you have absolutely no idea?
Prashad, I'll come to that. First, let me finish how do we kind of go into the table topic improvement mindset? I'll come to that. It's a very valid question, but I'll come to that. What else can you do quickly?
I think also taking time to think about.
That is on the stage. I'll come to that later. I'm talking about in your life. What can you do to become a better table topic speaker?
Speak to strangers, speak to people whom you're not
Very good.
met
I was
out.
looking for that only. Become a speaker offline also. When I mean offline, off the stage also. A lot of people, they are very quiet in their personal lives, when they're with friends, when they're with family, and then they expect to come on stage and start speaking confidently. That's a very big disconnect between who you are off stage and who you are on stage. I think, Joe, we discussed this in one of our podcasts also, remember? So I think as a person, you have to also get used to having conversations in groups of people or one-on-one where you speak like a table topic champion. Somebody is discussing, like Mahesh is discussing now, alternate fuels and energy. You should be able to like jump into the conversation and give your gyan. And that habit should be there. A lot of people sit back and they listen to others. You won't improve as a speaker. If you're quiet off the stage, on the stage, you're not going to become a fantastic speaker, right? That rarely happens. So have conversations, have interesting conversations. If you fake it till you make it, if you don't know something, also faff it out, but get into the habit of speaking. Yeah. Like everybody who knows me knows I like to chatter, and that helps me on stage as well. Okay, so this is basically what you have to cultivate that mindset to improve as a table topic speaker. If you think just attending the meetings and then going on stage and trying out a table topic will help, no. That is very shallow thing. You have to become a person who becomes good at table topics by changing a lot of things in your life also. Right? So it might sound like I'm trying to make you an extrovert from an introvert. I don't mean that. Be an introvert, but be an introvert which is engaged. Engage with current affairs. Read, talk to people, engage with people, learn a lot of new things, and fill your brain with all kinds of stuff. And then when you come on stage, it will automatically come out in a very interesting way, and a weird way also sometimes. Yeah. Okay, let's now we'll have very little time, so let's close with giving the table topics on stage. So Prashant, what was your question?
Yeah, so like what to do if we get such a topic where you have absolutely no idea about it?
Okay, so there are two things that you can do when you have absolutely no idea about the topic. One is say sorry, thank you, I don't know anything about the topic, and walk off the stage. No harm in that. Can do that also. Second thing is see if you can identify any words in that topic that actually makes sense to you. For example, if I'm talking to somebody about, say, the topic is the new development in quantum computing. Now, suppose somebody has no idea what quantum computing is, but most people will know what computing is at least, right? Right. All of us have grown up around computers, so you know what computing is. So take one of the keywords and speak on it. Okay, so you don't know anything about quantum computing, you know at least about computing. Speak it out. At the worst, what is there? You may not win the contest because you already lost because you don't know the topic. You're not going to win because you don't know the topic, but at least you will have something to say. And maybe, who knows, you might come out with something very interesting. Audience might love it and they might ignore the part that you didn't know quantum. So never give up, but give up also if you want to. In table topics, I will tell you that anything, it's like T20 cricket. Sometimes you get out on 0 and sometimes you hit it out of the park, right? And one thing about table topics is on stage, whatever happens, it does not matter. Have zero carry forward. Don't feel ashamed. Don't feel bad if you don't able to do it. Whatever you come down from stage and say, oh no, I should have said that. I should have said that. No, let it be. Leave everything on stage. Table topics is a very variable process. Sometimes you will really kill the topic. Sometimes the topic will kill you. So be prepared for that kind of engagement also. But in case you get confused by a topic, focus on one of the keywords which makes sense to you and just take it from there. There's another question. I think, who was it? Tata, you had a question, right? On stage.
Yes. So I was talking about should we pause or we should directly say whatever thought comes to our mind once the topic is announced, or should we take time and then speak?
I'm a big this of taking time, but enough time that you get a triggering phrase. What I mean by triggering phrase is one of my favorite tactics in table topics is I like to start off the topic with a question to the audience. And the audience response triggers my entire speech. So you should have when you think, you should have something to trigger start it off, If you just take pause and you're still blank after the pause, that doesn't make sense, So a lot of people, they take I'm taking 5 seconds, but I'm still not getting anything. That 5 seconds should be productive use to find a trigger which you can then take it forward. So while the audience is not listening, your brain should be doing something. It should not be just the pause for taking the pause. So that is a bit tricky. And sometimes you get a topic when you just know it and you just start off immediately. That is also fine, right? But yeah, I'm a big component of taking your time pause. And I'm also a big component of taking pauses within the speech of 5 to 10 seconds in between this. So you made your point. You can take a 5-second pause, look at the audience, think about how to proceed next and start, right? On stage, 5 seconds feels a lot to us, but to the audience, it doesn't really make sense. For the audience also, they get a kind of a small mini break in the speech. And As long as you continue forward eloquently, it is absolutely fine. Yeah, so pauses absolutely should be part of your speech repertoire. Beginning, all right. I remember Tanmay from Thane Toastmasters. He was a humorous speech champion. He went on stage in a humorous speech, and he stood in front of the audience and for 20 seconds didn't say anything. Then his first line was, "My mentor told me that in speech you must always take pauses. So I have taken all the pauses I have wanted in the beginning only, so now I can talk properly." So that I mean, it's a joke, but that was quite fun. It kind of gives you an idea of how important pauses are in a speech. Tanmay is a very funny person. I hope you get to listen to him sometime. Yes. Any other questions about delivering table topics before we wind up?
Conclusion. How to conclude?
How to conclude? So I'm not a big fan of structure in table topics, because the moment you go on stage and you're given the topic, your brain goes for a toss. All the structures, A, B, C, D, S, T, A, R, T, all go out of the window. So when I was competing in table topics, I had somebody suggested one structure to me, which made sense to me. First, and of course, this is all if you want to, it's not compulsory. First, talk about how interesting the topic is. So the first thing he said, get a topic. Thank you, table topic master. What a wonderful topic. This topic is right for this age and these people and this audience. And I'm very happy to get this topic. And so you talk a little bit about the topic, why this topic is relevant, why topic is important. And then the second thing you do for the body of the table topic is you connect the topic to the audience. Why does the topic make sense for the audience? Like if Mahesh had given me a topic about, say, alternative fuels. Why are alternative fuels? So I would tell Mahesh, what a wonderful topic, is right, because we are all into conservation and this and that and all that. And why is alternate fuels important for the audience? So you take it to the audience. And the last part, Joanne, is takeaway. Close with the takeaway for the audience. That's the simplest way to close, right? You can just say we should all invest in renewable energy. We should invest in our money. We should invest in time. We should study and we should do all this. And you go home and learn more about renewable energies, and that will help your future and your children's future also. So some takeaway you can throw at the audience. But again, it all depends on topics. I think Mahesh must have been there, and one of the district finals, Brilliant was the contest chair for table topics, and the topic was, "Are you stupid?" So he went like Ron Bilimoria. "Are you stupid? Are you stupid, Ron Bilimoria?" The moment I heard that, any structure, any idea, anything I had, it just went out of the window, and I really had to think on the spot there. In fact, all the contestants, obviously. So again, don't go with too many preconceived. Do your best. And if you don't, it doesn't work out. I always like this thing which is SW, SW, SW. Some will, some won't. So what? Somebody spotlighted me. My face suddenly blew up in front of me. Hey, go back to that. Yeah, go back to the normal screen.
Ron, what you just said, I think I missed it.
So SW, SW, SW.
Okay.
It's a good mantra to have. Some will, some won't. So what?
Oh, okay.
So some topics, some table topics, you will slam them. Some you will get crushed. So what? Is table topics. It's all right. Okay, shall we conclude then, Joanne? I'm sorry I rushed through everything, but we had limited time. But I hope you got some nuggets of something. I don't know whether it's wisdom or not. Hey, Vikram is here. Vikram, hi Vikram. Talk about humor.
Yeah, how is that your request or you like? Hi Vikram, talk about humor. I'm like, okay.
Anyway, Joanne, that's Vikram Poddar, one of the funniest guys I know.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's from our club. He was from our club. I know.
Anything before I close the session and we move on?
Ron, just one last one.
Yeah,
Like sometimes what happens is like some topic which is given is slightly on the border of the taboo topics or something like that. So then how to come out of it very carefully and try to be like politically correct while giving your table topic. So that's one thing I can
You know that very weird joke is, how do you kiss a porcupine? How do you kiss a porcupine?
Flying
very,
kiss.
very
Not
carefully.
possible. Very carefully, yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
So if you're given a topic which is a porcupine, common sense, take it from left to right slowly and be careful with it. You know, that's up to you
Okay.
how you handle it, but be on the safe side always. And
Yes.
usually in Toastmasters, sex, religion, politics, we don't usually give, so you will not be in that this. But if you feel uncomfortable about the topic, take the topic into a comfortable tangent. Nobody's going to blame you for it. But just be careful because our audiences are quite sensitive here, and we like you. We don't want you to be murdered. So just take it easy.
Could I share
Thank you.
something on this, Rob?
Vikram, I need to leave for my own meeting, but you can carry on with yeah, Joan, Mahesh.
You're on mute.
You're on mute.
I'm on mute.
Joanne.
No, I was on mute. Joanne, I was on mute.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Joanne.
Vikram, we can conclude the education session now. And we would love to hear from you, Vikram, but is it just a suggestion? Then please go ahead.
Yeah, I think just very quickly, so based on the question was that whether certain content is okay or not okay in a certain audience. So I would only say very quickly that it all depends on the context. Like I've done a Savita Bhavi reference in a corporate show where there were senior expats, and yet nobody was offended because now if I take an instructions, don't do like that, that would have affected the joke and people would have not enjoyed. It's all in the context of how you present something. The content doesn't matter. Even with content that is not offensive, if you put it in the wrong context, people can still get offended. So I think that's pretty much about that.
Thank you. Thank
Thanks,
you so
thanks,
much,
Vikram.
Vikram. Yeah, thank you. And thank you so much, Ron, for taking this education session. I'm sure it was very valuable for everyone, whether you're a newcomer or an experienced Toastmaster. Really appreciate your help and support, Ron.
Thank you, guys. I hope it was useful. Yeah. And I hope
A
to
big
catch you
round of-
all at Eloquence this
Yes.
week. Okay. Eloquence. Yeah. There.
Yeah.
It's happening at Silvassa. And before Ron
Absolutely.
leaves, can we just take a quick photograph? All of us, please switch on your cameras quickly, and then we'll take this photograph. Thank you. Very quick, very quick. 5, 4. Tata, please do the honors.
Yes, yes.
3, 2, 1. Yes, please take.
Yes. Done.
Thank you so much,
Thank
guys.
you, Ron.
Take
Thank
care.
you so
Have a
much.
great meeting.
Ron.
Yeah. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Ron. Thank you so much for this educational session. See you in more whenever you can. Thank you.
Thank you. So moving forward, we have our own contest preparation going on, the table topics, and how do we prepare? How do we do better at it? Is my practice. And today we are going to have table topic session as part of our meeting. And may I request the table topic master, Toastmaster Joanne, to please come up. She is the VP Education of our club. Most of the Toastmasters in Mumbai know her as the division champion of table topics and evaluation contests, and
District champion of table topics. I need to
district
like
champion.
you
Yes.
need to
I am sorry. Yeah. I was confused on what to say on division and district champions. Okay. Right. So keeping my confusion aside, let's invite Toastmaster Joanne to take up the table topic master. And how do we invite her?
Thank you so much. I have realized I need to give a proper introduction to people so that people don't mismanage all the titles. But titles aside, we are going to have a fantastic table topic session here because before we start, how many of you are planning to get into table topic contests in the upcoming contest cycle? Show of hand, please. Thank you. And how many of you love reading? Are bibliophiles here? Show of hands. Bibliophile is a person who loves reading, who loves books, basically. Okay, so this is like almost 50-50. Half of you like books, half of you don't. So this is going to be very interesting. We are going to explore the classics today in table topics. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to give you the title of a classic book. Okay. Now, there is a very good chance that you have read the book, you have heard about the book, so you can speak about that, no problem. But if you've not read the book, you've not even heard about the book, and some of these titles are very fancy, how will you tackle the table topic? That is where the challenge comes. One suggestion is, as Ron said, pick up any word that you understand out of the title and talk about that word and try to connect it. Or you can simply generally speak about how reading is, right? Because this is all about books. So these are the tips for today. Now, the rule for table topics, I think everybody knows, but just to reiterate for guests, it's 1 to 2 minutes, minimum 1 minute you have to speak. At 1 minute, the timer will show you a green card. That's the minimum time you have to speak. And you can speak till 2 minutes. At 1 minute, 30-second timer shows the yellow card, and at 2 minutes, a red card. Now, once you see the red card, you have 30 seconds to wrap up your speech, but you will never know when the 30 seconds end. Be mindful of that red card, because once that red card is there and the 30 seconds are done, you will be disqualified and we won't poll you to announce the winner for table topics. So let's take this as a contest practice session. Okay. Now, how we will do it? Please raise your hand. Use the reactions button to just raise your hand and volunteer for the session. So who wants to go first? Who wants to take up the challenge? Vikram, I see your hands raised. Okay, we'll start with Vikram. Vikram, can you see the timer, Ganesh? I hope you can see the timer.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Okay. Vikram. So, guest Vikram. Pride and Prejudice. Pride and Prejudice. Guest Vikram.
Pride and Prejudice are classic novel that is often, I feel that anytime you meet a woman anywhere, she feels compelled and pressured to tell that she has read Pride and Prejudice. It's one of those novels where, I remember reading this expression somewhere that if you're a man, if you have not read The Stranger by Albert Camus, then you can't call yourself a man. And if you haven't read Pride and Prejudice, then you can't call yourself a woman, apparently. Now I understand today there's a whole different discussion on who can call themselves a man and who can call themselves a woman, in which there is no pride or prejudice whatsoever, I suppose. From what I remember reading about this novel, it was a very classic sort of, for its time, a very path-breaking novel in the way relationships and a lot of things are explained. I would tell a lot of men, if you want to get some understanding of the nature and how relationships are structured, perhaps maybe that book is definitely a good read. And if you have graduated a little further in life, or Mills and Boone may not be such a bad idea either. But I guess why this novel often comes back as a classic is that it was very different for its time. Whenever somebody shares something which is very far ahead of its time, or even speaks about honest feelings and emotions, it's not something that even in India, culturally, something that we normally expect. We expect people, even in our art and literature, to talk about things that are socially acceptable, which as an artist, I find quite hilarious, because I think the whole point of reading a book is to escape to a world which you cannot access physically in where you're living right now. And I think that's what allowed my late father also to access so many things, given the very limited background he came from. I always believe that the moment he touched the first book in English, I think it changed the very nature of his reality. And he knew that the reality in his village is not the only reality. And I think that's what a book allows you to do. And if it's something like Pride and Prejudice, it allows you to go back over a century and understand how things were at that point of time, and realize that you can take those same lessons and apply them today. That maybe what you're complaining on your Instagram reel is the same what the author would have said. So I think maybe we can have a little pride in ourselves and a little less prejudice in what other people are sharing. Over to you, contest.
Thank you. Wow. A big round of applause. You actually gave us a huge lesson, like explain the book itself and the morals and lessons that were there in the book. For those who have not read Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen, it's a classic English 19th century book, way ahead of its time for feminism, for modern thinking. Highly recommended for anyone who wants to start a journey in, and also it's humorous and witty for its time. That's also important to know about. Who wants to go next? No volunteers, then I will cold call. Yes, Preetham. Okay. I request Techmaster to please spotlight the speaker and the timer so that the speaker can see the time. Toastmaster Preetham. Crime and punishment. Crime and punishment. Toastmaster Preetham.
Crime and punishment. I think crime and who has done crime should be punished, because is so it's so lesson to everyone. Don't to do crime in future. Well, but you in younger age, so that government gives a little chance to become a good character. So if you are younger than 18, so you are give chance to build your character. So if you are doing again crime, then it will be very dangerous for the society. So it should be it should be punished. Should be punished if doing crime to anyone. Actually, I didn't remember about the what's book called about crime and punishment, but what I thought about crime and punishment just showed to you. Thank you. Over to you, to our master.
Thank you so much. A big round of applause for Preetham. Preetham, that was a wonderful attempt. So, Crime and Punishment is actually a classic book, which is recommended to everyone. It is like it's a book where it talks about the psychological turmoil of the main character, the protagonist, Rodion. And the hero, the protagonist, what happens is that he grapples with guilt and morality after committing a brutal murder. Okay. So that's the main theory of the book. And you attempted it very well. Another classic that I highly recommend to people. Thank you so much. Next, we have Surya, who has raised her hand. Hi, Surya. Okay, Surya. So your topic is Toastmaster Surya. To kill a mockingbird. To kill a mockingbird, Toastmaster Surya.
Okay. So birds have always signified freedom to do what we want, and it's always whenever we imagine happiness, we feel we are flying like a bird, and just to kill a mockingbird would mean to me probably to kind of be irritated by some person who does not mean you any harm, and I believe that we should just kind of allow people to just kind of express their freedom and not get irritated by whatever they do in good faith, and I would conclude with that. Over to you, Joanne. This book I didn't know much about.
Thank you so much. Please, a big round of applause for Surya once again. Virtual round of applauses are also appreciated. So with this exercise, what I'm trying to make people understand is it's so difficult when suddenly I brought in titles of classic books and I'm asking you to talk about it. Many of the books even I have not read. It's not like I've read all the books. But To Kill a Mockingbird, I'll tell you, my dear friends, highly, highly recommended that book. It talks about the journey of an innocent man who's accused as a rapist, and he's a black man. Okay, and how his case is being dealt with. Okay, and it's beautifully written, highly recommended. It's by a very well-known author called Harper Lee. So please go ahead and read it if you have time. And if you don't have time, still try to attempt it as a table topic. So difficult. To Kill a Mockingbird, what would you talk about? But very good attempt, Surya. Next, we have Toastmaster Sakti. Toastmaster Sakti. The Catcher in the Rye. The Catcher in the Rye, Toastmaster Sakti.
Thank you, Toastmaster Joanne. Good afternoon, Toastmasters and fellow Toastmasters. To be very honest, I have not read this book, Catcher in the Rye. Catcher in the Rye, what I thought of, this is something, talking about a bird who's been attacked, but to be very honest, even I don't know the exact what is the topic he's talking about. What I understood as a catcher, probably the birds, the entire forest was coming. People are trying to. Is the correct? I'm going in the right way, Joanne.
Go ahead. Doesn't matter. There's no right and wrong. Go ahead.
So what I thought of with catches normally, you can say kind of who go and catches the birds and trying to fulfill their dream, kind of attempt to either kill them or trying to put them in a rack and enjoy them. That is would be the topic I thought of. It's over to Joy.
Thank you. I'll tell you, huge round of applause for Shakti. It's such a difficult topic, right? If even I'm thinking about what would I talk about, catcher in the rye, catcher, rye, that are the only two words. And what does it mean? We don't even know. So that was a fantastic attempt. Catcher in the Rye, another classic. It talks about, I think, post-World War II American society and an adolescent's journey in that war-ridden society. It's a classic book, very, what do you say, high-level book, and very well attempted, Sakti. Who wants to go next? Take this as a challenge. We have guests in the group. We have Mukesh. I don't know who's AJ. We have Suresh, Umakant, Sangeeta. Would any guest like to attempt next? Mukesh Kumar, would you like to attempt the next table topic? I think Mukesh is not available. Who wants to go next? Gaurav?
Actually, John, I have no fear to speak, but I have a fear of the Nobel title. No. So
Then you must attempt it. I'll tell you, let that, what did we learn today in the education session, right? Even if you have fear,
do it anyway.
do it. Do it anyway. Even if you're scared, do it anyway.
Okay. Sure. Please go ahead.
Remember the SW that we learned as a group today, right? Some will, some would. So what? Some will be able to attempt, some won't. But so what? It doesn't matter. So the next topic to you, Gaurav, is, and then afterwards, Suryaban. Gaurav. Brave New World. Brave New World. Gaurav.
All right. Brave New World. Honestly, I am a very can say a beginner in the novel reading, a kind of Chetan Bhagat kind of reading. So by hearing the title, Brave New World, after understanding the title of the novel, how brave we are interpreting the outside world, right? As per my knowledge and as per my understanding with the outside world, when I was during my childhood time, I was a kind of very fear kind of child who looked like a coward when he see any person who looks strong, but as far as I've been grown up, then I had that sense to understand the people who doesn't look strong are not truly strong. Actually, the strong and brave people in the world are like who are stronger by the brain, right? Whose willpower is strong to tackle each and every situation in the world. So I believe if the mental and your willpower is been enough to tackle each and every circumstances in the life, so you are brave to handle each and every situations outside the world. So on that note, I'll end this topic by understanding my assumptions here. And thank you so much.
Thank you once again. Big round of applause. I'll tell you, I loved your take. I was not even thinking about the book anymore. You made that your own. When you added your personal story and said, like, I felt like a coward, though I don't believe that you are. You attempted the table topic and you went through your fear. Thank you so much, Gaurav. Next, Suryaban. I think Surya, you raised your hand, right? If I'm not wrong.
Yeah,
Suryaban, then we have
Yeah.
time for one more table topic and that'll be the end. So if anybody else wants to volunteer and take up the challenge, please let me know. Suryavan, the grapes of wrath. The grapes of wrath, Suryavan.
The grapes of rap.
Wrath. WRATH, wrath. Now even I'm mispronouncing it.
Okay. W-R-A-T. Rat.
R-A-T-H.
R-A-T-H.
H. Rat.
Okay. The grapes of wraths. Challenging. So I have never read this book, but what I can think about this is regarding this topic is it's like whenever we get some kind of challenges, it's like as a grape, as I know we have a kind of grapes kind of stuff. It's when we see. Sorry, I'm just using my mouth. Whenever we have such kind of challenges where we we are not kind of situations and where we cannot derive some conclusions, we should be always take a step back, wherein we can think what we can do and we can analyze our own situations and what we have, or you can go with any of the, as speaker also mentioned, we can go for the mentors also. So so what I think about this topic.
Thank you so much. A big round of applause for Suryavan. It is difficult, especially when you.
I've never read, and in fact I was still struggling to be the understand the words.
And I was thinking, Surya, I'll tell you, I was thinking, should I give the meaning of wrath? So wrath means extreme anger, extreme rage. Okay, but I stopped
and that
myself.
Was a grape or what? Grapes? What was that?
Grapes. The grapes that you eat. Grapes of wrath. Okay, so it's a very interesting book which talks about the struggle of a family in Great Depression, okay, in the economic Great Depression time, and how they struggle to find a better life in California. So that's the story. And I was struggling myself to thinking, should I give you the meaning? But I wanted to challenge you. Many times in life, we come to the situation where people are talking about something and we may not know what it means, right? Because English is not our first language. Still, you took up the challenge and you spoke. That's bravery. Thank you so much, Suryaban. Last speaker we have for the day is Suresh, and then we can.
I want to say something.
Can we take that after the meeting, because we are already running late?
Okay,
come
no
back.
problem. Okay,
Thank you. Last, Suresh. Suresh, can you come on camera, please? Can we see you?
Actually, I'm traveling. If you are allowing me to talk.
No problem. You can take the topic at least. Thank you so much. Yeah. Suresh. I'm thinking what to give to you, right? There are so many interesting. Okay, yeah. 100 years of solitude. 100 years solitude. Toastmaster Suresh.
100 years of
solitude.
Yeah. Good afternoon, all the Toastmasters. Thank you for such a wonderful topic from Janet Joseph. 100 years of solitude. See, we all know that reading books is such an important habit, and people are confined to certain types of books, maybe fictional or non-fictional. And when you ask anyone which kind of books do you recommend, they will try to recommend different kinds of books, maybe How to Win and Influence People, or Rich Dad or Poor Dad. This is such a wonderful opportunity to meet and engage with the people where they will tell you such a wonderful books to us. At least if you pick and take at least one of those books, like 100 Years of Solitude, so we would have learned a lot out of it, and we can speak much better and give the messages that we can give. All the books that was told by our Toastmasters are extremely good, and such things will only come when you interact with the people to understand what will you make different in a group of people. So what kind of books which would where it will be helpful. The more you learn, the more you talk, and it may not take 100 years, but it may take 100 people or even 50 people to take their valuable suggestions and if you follow, or if you put at least one or two into our practice, definitely we will be having a lot of knowledge over, and we can do much better than what we are doing currently. Thanks a lot for giving this topic.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Suresh. What a wonderful take. Please put your hands together. I don't know why we are so misers in appreciating people and virtual raising of hands. I understand you don't want to come on camera. That's fair, fine. But virtual appreciations are always, what do you say, welcome. And I'll tell you, Suresh, you spoke for everyone. You may not know what these books mean. That's fine. At least you heard about them for the first time. 100 Years of Solitude is one of the most exceptional books written by somebody called Gabriel Garcia Marquez. And he has written a lot of wonderful books. And this is a book highly recommended for anyone who wants to just understand about love, politics, family, life in general. And we all live in one single mode. We learn what we are being taught in our culture by the people that we live in. So if you want to explore different perspectives of life, different way of seeing your relationships, your family, your world, then I suggest that we all start reading books. And as Suresh very rightly said, not just self-help books, not just books that will tell you how to, become better and better at organizing, or how to become better at discipline, but also classics like this, which talk about humanity, emotions, and end of the day, what it means to be alive. Thank you so much. You all were wonderful. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Joanne. Thank you for wonderfully conducting the table topic session. Preetham, you wanted to say something. Will you please complete very quickly? Yes.
Yes, I finished my sentences quickly. One time I remembered Joanne told us you prepare 5 stories behind. So you have to prompt to speaking in on any topic. But in today topics, we cannot relate past story to this words. So we can humble on this to say on the topic.
Thank you, Preetham. Thank you. Now, it just reminded me of one suggestion which one of the table topic champions gave, is that his secret was he comes prepared with 3 wonderful stories. 3 wonderful stories for table topics. And whatever topic is given, he'll try to relate it to that story and try to make a masala out of it. That was his formula. And he practiced on that formula and he won. So if you have a formula that can work, the important thing again is practice. So practice on that, whatever way in which you think table topics will appeal to the audience, please go ahead with it. There is no one right way. Please go ahead and practice on it so it will become one of your forte. Okay, now it's time for looking at our evaluation. So we had one prepared speech today, and I'll request the evaluator for the prepared speech, Toastmaster Tata, to please come up. And by the time, I'll request timer to be ready for timing. Tata, whenever you're ready, please go ahead.
Can the speaker be highlighted?
You are the tech master, Tata. You have to highlight. Yes, now he is.
One moment. I'm not able to see the timer. Yes. All right. A mentor is someone who sees more ability and talent in you that you see for yourselves. So thank you so much, Toastmaster Aditya, for showing us the importance of mentoring, specifically in the realm of Toastmasters. Now, what I liked about your speech in terms of content and delivery is, in terms of your content, you had given specific examples from your life and also from generic examples, which allowed the audience to understand it. So, for example, you spoke about your own personal life where you and your mentor had similar backgrounds. You gave the example of Mahabharata, so that each one of us would have at some point read about it and would have connected it instantly. So these examples allowed me to understand the importance of mentoring that you had focused in your real life. The second thing which I liked in terms of your content is you had used a lot of good words and phrases like lighthouse guiding boats. So this kind of words that you use enhances the speech, and it kind of cements what you want to speak and what you want to give as a message. In terms of delivery, I would say that you had started off right off the boat by saying that, yes, just because I'm a mentor doesn't mean that I solve all the problems, right? So you had started off with a little humorous tone as well, that which allowed us to, understand the mentorship a little better. And you had also asked questions which resulted in the audience engagement about the specific questions that you asked. Now, if I want to say how you can take this speech to the next level, I have like a couple of suggestions. So you had talked about in your journey about using the two persons as speeches so that you can improve your vocal variety using the two persons. Maybe you could have used here as a two-person communication between your mentor and a mentee. If you had taken turns in that, I think that would have enhanced with the examples that you have provided with that. I love the example of Mahabharata, but if you could have added one more example from your own personal journey, it would have had more impact. So one more personal entry would have been much better. And final would be the usage of a little bit of voice modulation in terms of when you are speaking about the mentor and mentee. For example, oh my God, how do I do voice modulation? I don't know voice modulation, nothing about it. How am I supposed to do that? So something like that would have enhanced it. And that would have, gave a more impactful more impact to the speech. To summarize, I would like to say that you had a very terrific content with respect to giving specific examples. You had used the audience engagement. You are calm and composed. You had maintained good eye contact with the tech that you have. Work on the suggestions with respect to introducing some of the two persons conversations and little bit of voice modulation, and you will be having a very, very good opportunity in improving the next speech. All the best. Thank you so much. Over to the general evaluator.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tata.
Thank you.
Thank you, Aditya, for being on the spotlight as well. Thank you. Okay, now let's quickly wrap up the theme for today. So there are a lot of opportunities for us to develop when we are going into the energy transition mode, and renewable energy is the solution, but we are still trying to figure out the path, the nuts and bolts of things. Though we know the destination, we still have to figure out the path on which we are going to go and achieve our energy transition goals. So it is going to take time. It is going to give us opportunities. It is going to give us, we are in the race. We are in the race. China is a little ahead of India in terms of how many solar power plants it is rolling out every year. And we are not far behind. We are also catching up. So things are in the right direction. So with energy transition, if you have any more questions or comments, please feel free to get in touch with me offline, and I'll be happy to discuss that with you. Now it is time for looking at how we have done in terms of the table topics. So may I request the timer to please let us know if all the table topic speakers are qualified.
Yes, all table topic speakers are qualified.
Okay. So Tata, would you like to take up on the voting pattern?
So we will release a poll in a while. Probably you can continue with the other aspects.
Acha. Okay. So while the poll is getting ready, oh yeah, Joanne, you have something. You're on mute.
After you finish your theme, I have a couple of announcements to make. So if you could give me time.
The theme is all about done. So I'll request Joanne to please come up and let us know about the announcement she has in her. Let us welcome Joanne.
Thank you so much. And while our presiding officer is getting the poll ready for table topics, couple of announcements. First, for the guests, because there are a lot of guests here, they may think why this meeting is happening in a weird way, why we don't have a general evaluator, and why the structure of the meeting is different. So to clarify that, in Palava Toastmasters, we have a meeting every single week. We have the official Toastmasters meeting. Every meeting is official, but the proper structured, prepared speeches, table topics, and then a general evaluation session with a proper structure every second and fourth Sunday, which happens offline at Palava in Dombivli. And every first and third Saturday, we have online meetings. These online meetings are special meetings, which we conduct to give opportunity for our members and guests to just speak if they have speeches to give, or for educational sessions. That's why we don't have a general evaluator for this session or a taggle team. So that's just a clarification from our side that why the Saturday online meeting is a little different. We keep it as our members need. Whatever the need is for that week, we do that. Second, a couple of announcements. In the members group, especially for Palava members, we have our ISC and table topic contest on 11th February from 3 p.m. onwards at Palava Casa Rio. Exact venue will be given out to you in some time. I request every member to take part in the table topics. ISC, International Speech Contest, has an eligibility criteria. That is, you have to be level 2. You have to have completed level 2 of any path. So if you have completed level 2, you are eligible, then I highly encourage you to go and participate in ISC. If you haven't, still don't feel disheartened. Go and participate in table topics contest. It's okay. Winning, losing, doesn't matter. Who is present, who is not present, doesn't matter. The thrill you feel to be in the competition and on stage is something inexplicable. So please take this opportunity and join the contest. The nomination forms of the contest have already been sent out to you. I have pinned it in the members group. So when you open the WhatsApp Palava members group, you will see a pin on top. So it's pinned permanently. You can go and there's a Google form. Please fill in the form. Now, if you don't want to take part in the contest, but you want to be part of the contest, you don't want to be a contestant, then you can take part as a role player. So in that form, you also have options to be a role player. You can go check out the form, see what options you are available, timer, tally counter, etc. And you can check on that and submit that also. Very good opportunity to learn something new about contesting, about being a role player, and so forth, and so on and so forth. Any doubts, any questions, you can always contact me directly regarding the contest. If you need any more help in education sessions, you need specific education sessions or specific criteria, again, please message me. I will not be able to know what help you need unless you give me a direct message. So message me directly on WhatsApp what your needs are, and we will work on that and bring it again in the next meeting. That's all. Thank you. Back to you, Presiding Officer, President Tata.
Okay, before I make the closing remarks, does the Toastmaster of the day want to make any closing remarks, or is it done?
Done. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so that we are about to conclude the meeting, and rightly said by our VP Education, Joanne, is that please participate in the contest. Contests are a wonderful way and a very good, challenging way to improve yourself as a speaker. A huge difference when it comes to the speeches in normal meetings versus when you go in a contest. The moment you go in a contest, your senses are heightened. You are more in that mode, and you will do a lot of things to project yourself as the best speaker, and that improves a lot, be it table topics or be it the ISC. I would strongly suggest everyone to participate in table topics, because it does not have any bars of as a no bar for entry. Participate, everyone, we are ready to help you. We will conduct regular sessions on table topics, but please do participate. And for ISC, yes, please do complete the level 2 so that we can have you as a contestant. I'm just going to launch the poll now. Okay, and please vote for the best table topic speaker that you have envisaged. So I've just launched the poll now. And while the poll is being, addressed, I would just like to have a little bit of a feedback from the few guests, like how you like this meeting, just from the, guest or any member who wants to talk about it. We'll start with the guest first. Probably we have Toastmaster Sangeeta over here. We can start with Sangeeta. Okay. I think we have Mukesh also. Mukesh, Umakant. Umakant, if you want to speak over a few lines.
Yes, sure. Thank you, Tata, for giving me a opportunity to express my experience being over here. So yeah, this is my first session, and I was earlier in touch with Mahesh, understanding the concept and how does it It's a great platform to improve your public speaking speech, how to craft your speech and all. So it was a beautiful experience. I have learned a couple of things, how to structure the speech, then what table topics are main, and how to prepare. Also, thanks to Joanne for sharing lovely names of the books. Those I have also collected. So yeah, it's a great platform. A lot more opportunity to learn and improve speaking skills. So I'm looking forward to be the part of this community, and will be happy to be the part of it.
Thank you, Makant.
Yeah.
You stay here only, Kasaryu, or you?
I stay in Palava Phase 2.
Palava Phase 2. Okay, all right. Looking forward to you as a member.
Same.
Mahesh will be
Same.
in touch with you for how to get the joining format.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, we have. Who else?
I think Mukesh unmuted. Mukesh
Yeah,
unmuted.
Mukesh. Yes, please.
Mukesh, your voice is not audible enough. Like, can you increase your volume? A little better.
Okay, let me try once more time.
Yeah, now you're audible. Mukesh, now.
It's better. Yes.
Can you rate it out of 5, like 4 out of 5 or?
5 out of 5 now.
Oh, so nice of you, Tata. Thanks, Jan. Thanks, Tata. It was really wonderful session. Sorry, I'll not be on screen. And I went blank when I heard the topic. But parallelly, I was doing Googling and I was searching. It was quite amazing stuff. Thanks, Jan. You have given the task for next almost 1 year, I think. We'll try to read at least 1 or 2. Thanks.
Oh, you're talking about the books, yeah. If you read at least one book out of those 7 topics, then I think my goal has been achieved.
Sure, one for sure. Noted.
Johan, you're like a teacher giving homework to everyone. Huh?
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Mukesh. Thank you, Mukesh, for your feedback. And by the way, I just ordered Crime and Punishment as the meeting was progressing. It will be coming tomorrow. So yes. All right.
Sai has raised his hand.
Sai? Yes.
Sai Prasad.
You're on mute, Sai.
Thank you so much, Tata, Joanne, Mahesh, and all the team members for conducting this important session. The Ron has so far spread the awareness how to go for how to be a participant, how to become a participant, and to challenge those fear that is coming inevitably. So that is one of the crucial part that he has discussed so far, and very glad that he has uh, just discussed it. And regarding the table topic, and as I always back out, and I encourage myself to go ahead and just participate in table topic. Today I couldn't able to participate as I was little anxious what to say, and Joanne was imputing some